Hello and welcome to Aberon's Armorial. Today we're going to be talking about another interesting aspect of heraldry, and this was proposed as a comment, and that is discussing augmentations of honor. Now, what does that mean? Augmentations of honor are simply that. They're augmentations made to an achievement of arms to display status and rank most normally associated with orders of chivalry and societies, things like that, and other positions. So we're going to be talking about those today. All information I'm going to talk about today comes from Sir Arthur Charles Fox Davies' A Complete Guide to Heraldry. It's a little dated, but it's got the most comprehensive list I've ever seen about it. And it talks about pretty much every country in Europe's augmentations that they use. So we're going to start from there, and if you would like to look this up, the list I'm using starts on page 583, but the chapter itself starts on 580. So we're going to basically do this from descending order from top to bottom. Now, the first set of augmentations that you will most often see are going to be either the collars, which is the chain that people wear for the major chivalric orders. So think of the Order of the Garter, Order of Thistle, formerly the Order of St. Patrick, Order of Bath, Order of St. Michael and St. George. Now, as this goes down, less and less people have the grander things, as you can imagine, because every order of chivalry ranks. So the big two, of course, are Garter and Thistle. Garter is, of course, the big one, because it is the head chivalric order, can't talk today, in England. It is the Old English order, whereas Thistle is the older Scottish version. So an Order of the Garter, and membership is limited to earls and above. So it used to be that if you were admitted to the order, you automatically were entitled to supporters, but nowadays, since they're all earls and above, they're already going to have supporters. So the first thing that everybody gets is they get to encircle the shield with the collar and badge, the badge being what is worn around the neck. And the next part of that everybody has probably seen is the garter itself. It is a blue garter trimmed in gold with gold lettering with the motto around it. It's a strapped buckle like a garter is. And a lot of people often mistake it for a Scottish clansman badge. Now, the only people who should have an actual garter badge around their shield is an Order of the Garter, and it is not a hereditary item. All of these items here are for individuals. They do not get passed down. Now, while the arms or the supporters might go down the line, the badges with these orders do not, unless that person is made a member. And oftentimes that's the case, but not always. So Thistle are allowed to do the garter and the badge around the arms. That's the same with Thistle. St. Patrick did the same thing. Now, that's pretty much it for it comes to collars. Now, of course, the Knights Grand Cross or the Knights Grand Commander of Order of Bath. Let's see here. Bath, the Star of India, St. Michael and St. George, the Indian Empire, and the Victorian Order all have collars since they're the leaders. So if they are the highest ranking individual within that order of chivalry, they get to display the collar and the other items that go along with it. Now, most of these other orders use what's called a circlet. So it is literally a plain circle in a specified color with a medal for trim, and it will either say the motto of the order or it will have the initials of the order or something like that. Then from there on, there are things like the medals. And somebody asked, that's how this question I got started was, what do the medals under a shield represent? How does one go about for those? The story with those, basically, is that you are allowed to display any number of medals below a shield. Now, the most common that people show will be their Order of Knighthood, whatever it is. So you might see one from St. John or OBE. Those are probably the two most common. Royal Victorian Order, that sort of thing. You'll also see them for societies. I've seen people put medals, like there have been people in past who have put medals of honor, Americans who have received the Medal of Honor and put it. I believe the Victoria Cross is one you can suspend. Order of Merit, that sort of thing. Anything that's a major military or civil award, basically, can be displayed. I have seen up to 5 displayed underneath a shield. Personally, I think 3 is about where it ends. Anything more than that is a bit overkill in my taste. But again, that's a personal preference thing. I've never seen more than 5 displayed, but usually 1 to 3 is kind of the average. As with anything, don't display anything you're not entitled to. That goes with anything in heraldry, anything in life, really. But the idea of displaying a medal under the shield just goes back. It's a continuation, it's a modern continuation of the old showing the collars and such of orders. And now, since there's only a handful of people today who are the heads of these orders of chivalry or are a part of, say, the Order of the Garter, which is limited to 20, 30 people, you don't see that much. So everyday commoners, so let's say somebody is an esquire or a knight of the Order of St. John. Order of St. John is pretty much a pretty open, common order that a lot of people are a member of, and it's open to people from all across the world, and they do a lot of great charity work, but it's a different topic. But you will often see them display on a single ribbon or a neck device style ribbon their cross, which is just a white Maltese cross. That is pretty much the common thread for these medals. I have seen people put society medals there as well. I've seen people put other medals of merit, that sort of thing. So for the regular people, though, the medal might be all they show, and they might only have a plain gentleman's, just a plain tilting helm, or maybe a single gold bar on it, making it an esquire's helm if you're in Scotland. In England, there's no difference between a regular helm and an esquire's helm, but in Scotland there is, but that's an extra point. The other thing that changes when you're appointed to certain ranks inside of orders, basically, if you can use the title Sir, and that's the other thing that not a lot of people stand. Some people think, oh, I've been knighted, ergo I am Sir so-and-so. And it's like, no, that starts when you hit a certain rank. And that's the other aspect of it. That's what changes your helm. So the arms might stay the same. Say you're an esquire of an order. You get to use your plain circlet around, or you get to use your medal around the bottom. But besides that, the arms don't change until you get permission to start using the title of Sir. Then you can put a knight's helmet on it, which is just a helmet with the visor tilted up. And it goes on from there for rank, but really the only realistic change in such you're ever going to get is ascending inside of an order. So that really covers that sort of augmentations. Other augmentations include crosses behind shields. You see that a lot with a lot of the religious orders. I believe there's a certain rank in the Order of St. John where you can start displaying a cross behind the cross of the order, that is, behind. There is Knights of the Holy Sepulchre, which is a Catholic order, which is a religious, non-chivalric order, depending on who you ask. And certain members of that organization are also allowed to display the cross of the order behind the arms, which is just a Jerusalem cross. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for there. There are some other things where you are allowed to display items on the shield. That's more of a continental thing than it is a British heraldry thing or an American heraldry thing. I'll add to that supporters usually add the rank too over that. Some people are given grants of supporters for life. So if they might not be able to display a certain helm or a certain augmentation of honor, they might receive supporters. Another one that's common, my arms, for example, is the only one I ever display, is batons. The tradition was that pursuivants were allowed a single baton. Heralds were allowed crossed batons, so it's 2 crossed behind the shield. For people who have 2 different offices, sometimes they'll change. So one might be the traditional black and white. It used to be mahogany and ivory, but nowadays it's usually depicted as black and white. They'll have that with a baton of another color for whatever office they hold. Like in some places, the batons that they use at Lion are black with gold tips instead of black with white tips. And Lion, for example, on his arms, the cross batons on his arms are actually blue and gold. So things different change. There's also things like, let's see here. I believe it's the Lord High Constable of Scotland. All right, here it is. Here's all the Kings of Arms. Where's it at? The Duke of Argyll. So the Duke of Argyll has a special position. So there's a thing there that they're allowed to do. So they get to place a baton gules, semi of thistles or, ensigned with an imperial crown proper, thereupon the crest of Scotland, as the hereditary Great Master of the Household of Scotland. That's what I was thinking of. And in bend sinister, a sword proper, hilton prommel or, as the hereditary Justice General of Scotland. So, for example, that's that's two special positions that somebody's entitled to. So they cross those two augmentations behind. Garter King of Arms has a special coronet and a special baton. Bath had a special thing. You know, this is older, so it gets to do. Everything changes with badges and other things. So that's kind of my quick little rambling on Augmentations of Honor. I'm going to have some pictures of things, put them into a PDF, and I will put them in the description as I always do. If there's something else you would like to see, please remember to like and subscribe and comment, and I hope to see you in the next one.